Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vikkiillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our podcast today. We are so pleased that you are with us today. As you come in, family, a little bit of housekeeping. We have a most important show to discuss with you today. As you come in, please come in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Also, dear family, please make sure that as you come in that you hit that subscribe button. We want you to know that you can text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. So very important. And we also want you to know that we have a store where you can get all types of wonderful apparel and products at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Shout out to you, Silent D Production, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. Thank all of you that are coming in supporting Black media. It's a new day, beloved. It is a new day. And so we are so pleased that you have tuned into the Vikki Show right here. Where is it? On FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Dear family, I am looking forward to discussing with you very briefly one of the latest attacks in this war against Black people. To be sure, we have been at war since before we got to the shores of America. The moment our Aboriginal people were taken over, the moment they snatched us from the throne land and brought us here, that was a declaration of war. Shout out to you, Ali, Busby, and Zavia, each of you that are giving. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. And so as we continued to build America, to make a new promised land, before America was officially formed, we were here. Somebody talk Black to me. They didn't come to get people that were swinging from tree to tree. They didn't come to get people that were monkeys. They came and got the mothers and fathers of civilization. Somebody say, that's me. Somebody talk Black to me. Oh, we got the gavel today. All rise, beloved. We hold court. Shout out to you, T. Washington, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. I love you back. Listen. They came and got and used the people who were the most capable of building a civilization. They came and got people to do something that they've never been able to do themselves. Somebody talk Black to me. And so for hundreds of years, in one form or another, whether it was chattel slavery, whether it was convict leasing, whether it was the injustices of sharecropping, whether it was Jim Crow, whether it's new Jim Crow, the prison industrial complex, benign neglect policies, the Black Code, somebody talk Black to me. We have been dealing with oppression, persecution, and tyranny, unlike any other people, watch this, for longer than any other people. And we've been made other than ourselves. In many ways, we've turned in on ourselves. We began to hate ourselves. We began to see ourselves as less than nothing because we didn't know who we were, because they kept that from us. for a very long time. And so we became a deaf and dumb and blind people. Watch this. Not because we're like that by nature, but we were made into that. Watch this. Dry bones, a skeleton, a sign of death. But I'm reminded of a prophecy. I'm reminded of a prophecy. It's somewhere in Ezekiel. Maybe 37th chapter, somewhere thereabout. A question is asked. Can these dry bones live? Somebody say a change has come. Shout out to you, Erica, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. I love you back, Erica. And I received your private gift the other day. I blessed it 1,000-fold. Listen. Ezekiel was instructed to say something, God, today. Ezekiel was instructed to open up his mouth to speak to the dry bones so that spirit would come into them. First, so that the bones, so that flesh would come into it. But this is a new day, beloved. We who are considered to be dead and lifeless and powerless. I think I hear some bones rattling. God, today. I think I hear the sound of a people who were considered dead and lifeless. I think I hear us starting to come together. It never starts with a large amount. It always starts with a little. And so I was encouraged, beloved, to see that in the midst of us grieving for our dear brother, Ahmaud Arbery, in the midst of us grieving our dear sister, Breonna Taylor, in the midst of us grieving our dear brother, George Floyd, is that right? Rashard Brooks, and too many other nameless Breonnas and Rashads. We've seen now charges being filed against Rashard Brooks's killers. I discussed that a few days ago. You will remember, right? Our brother, the Atlanta DA, Brother Paul, I'm getting ready to get into it. Brother Paul Howard came before the world very methodically and intelligently, legally and righteously spelled out the charges against his killer. One of them is felony murder, which could carry the death sentence. Shout out to you, Larry, for your gift. I bless your gift, Larry, 1,000-fold. Talk black to you, Queen, by showing support. Thank you, beloved. Listen. And so you will remember that I told you all this is the war of the gods. Is that right? And I did warn you then that there was going to be some backlash because this black man was standing up to do what was right. Somebody say right. So he's been under attack recently. He's been experiencing death threats. And now a white federal congressman who has no jurisdiction in the situation decided to put his 2 cents in to demand that he be thrown off the case. But let your sister give you the latest on that. And I have a special announcement to make here in just a moment. Are y'all ready for this? Instagram, I need to use this device because I need to play this. And I want you to come on over to Instagram at flynubianqueentv.com. Instagram, come on over to flynubianqueentv.com. By the way, family, you can follow me on Instagram at VikkiXDillard because I'm getting ready to cue this. I want you to hear the latest of what's going on. But I told you, family, that this is a changing of the gods. Is that right? And when we talk about gods, who are we referring to, family? When we say gods, we're talking about one with what? Force and power. Is that right? Thank you, Amani, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Let me post this really quick, family. And as I do that, remember to keep coming on in, giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Would you do that? The reason we ask that you do that is because it helps to draw other folk into the broadcast. And how many of you all know it's our job to elevate the voice of Black media? How many of you all know it's our responsibility to elevate our own voice, to broadcast our own voice? You help us do that when you share the link at the bottom of your screen, copy it, and then share it out on all of your social media platforms, text it, email it, do whatever you need to do, and let them know that the Vikki show is on flynubianqueentv.com right now. Thank you so very much. All right. Almost there. All right, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm cueing right now this video that I want you to hear. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for purposes of fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Somebody talk Black to me. Shout out to you, Azriel Israel. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. You say you're number one fan. Oh, it's a privilege and an honor, beloved. So this is our dear brother. This is what I posted earlier today. This is what I posted on my Instagram page. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at VikkiXDillard. And I posted this on Twitter as well. You can follow me on Twitter at DillardVikki. Twitter, VikkiXDillard. I mean, Instagram, VikkiXDillard, and Twitter, DillardVikki. Those links will be in the chat. So who you see here is our brother, Paul Howard there, the DA. And then you see this other thing. That other thing, beloved, somebody talk Black to me, is a U.S. congressman who does not even have jurisdiction or authority in the case. Did you all hear what I said? This congressman is not a local or state congressman. This is a U.S. congressman sticking his nose, somebody talk Black to me, in Black business of justice. Somebody talk Black to me. Now, I know there are other peoples that live in the Atlanta area. We understand, however, that the target is Black people. You also understand, other people groups, that if you expect to receive any form of justice for your people, you gotta first honor your mother and father. Somebody say honor your mother and father. Somebody say honor your mother and father. Doug Collins, who I went on ahead and tagged on Instagram earlier today. Doug Collins is this particular white congressman that's sticking his nose in black business. Somebody talk black to me. Somebody talk black to me. Now, I would like to familiarize this congressman with an important hashtag. Some of you might already know it, my day ones. It's MYOWB. Can somebody please put in the chat hashtag MYOWB while I prepare you to listen to this recent press conference of U.S. Congressman Doug Collins. This congressman, Doug Collins, and the Atlanta Police Union called for a special prosecutor in Rayshard Brooks's case in order to remove the black DA who is doing what's just and right. Somebody talk black to me. We want to make him acquainted with this MYOWB. Does anybody in the Black Digital Building know what MYOWB stands for? Does anybody in the Black Digital Building know what MYOWB stands for? It's interesting that when black folk begin to build for themselves, when black folks begin to protect and to love on each other, there's always this outside meddling. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying today? The moment black folks say, okay, I'm going to support another black business, the moment another black person says, I'm going to serve my black brothers and sisters, I'm going to support them, there's always somebody trying to put their 2 cents in and butt in our very black business. We want to encourage you today, Doug, Mr. Collins, mind. Somebody help me. I got some mail the other day from a dear brother from Florida, a sister in California, another sister in California. What was another state I got some mail from? Tennessee. Y'all know who you are. Mwah. They must have went on my website and found my mailing address. So I'm going to need somebody in Tennessee. I'm going to need somebody in California and Florida. That's just some of the most recent fan mail I got. I'm going to need somebody to help Doug Collins understand what MYOWB stands for. Mind your own white business. What do you mean, Vicky? With all of the terrorism that's going on in your community, all of the white on white crime you got going on in America and around the world, all of the sexual deviancy that you got replete, that's just teeming rather in the Catholic Church and in Hollywood and in government and in media. Come on, somebody talk black to me. You got your hands full. You got to fix stuff in your own community. We got this over here, baby. Mind your own business. So let's just start with that. Calm down, Vicky. I'm going to try to stop. 1,200 plus of you in the chat so far, and thousands of you perhaps later tuning into the Vicky Show. Thank you so much. I'm typically here weekdays right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes I go on a little early, but I'm typically here weekdays, so you don't want to miss checking into FlyNubianQueenTV.com to see the Vicky Show. We also know that I have the very high honor of having my show replayed on other networks and other channels. So if you're watching me on one of our other platforms, please be sure to comment, be sure to share, beloved, this most important broadcast out, because this is important. Listen. So you all witnessed our dear brother list 11 charges against the killers of our brother Rayshard Brooks. Is that right? So after he did that, like we expected, there was some pushback. There was some backlash. Somebody talk black to me. People are not used to, somebody talk black to me, black masculinity that's on the front lines, that's uncompromising, and that's judging. Somebody talk black to me. Those that would kill us. It's an unusual thing not to have a bones and biscuits, a butter biscuits, a Sambo, a coon, and somebody and something along of that ilk that's not bowing down to white supremacy. But I'm gonna need somebody black to say a change has come. There is, as I've told you before, a changing, not just of the guards, but a changing of the gods. We are ones with what? Force and power. I'm going to address some of your concerns that are worried about. Is our brother a worthy enough candidate? I'm going to address those concerns. I'm going to do my best to allay those fears. So if you would just give me a couple of more minutes to get there. Collins, it says, who represents parts of far north Georgia, says Fulton County DA Paul Howard, that's the black man, should not have issued charges before the GBI investigation was complete. U.S. Representative Doug Collins, Republican from Georgia, has thrown his support behind the Atlanta Police Union in its conflict with the city's mayor and Fulton County's district attorney. This message is also for Mayor Keisha Bottoms. Shout out to you, HP, for your $50 gifts, and support those who support it's for re-election. That's right, beloved. Support our dear brother. I'm going to get to that too. But you are absolutely right. So I want thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Early Sunday afternoon, Collins, that was yesterday, renewed his call for the appointment of a special prosecutor in the Rayshard Brooks case. Somebody say MYOWB. Right there. Right there is the MYOWB. Mr. Collins. It said he renewed his call. That means that he's being persistent. This is a federal congressman. Watch this. Collins is running against U.S. Senator Kelly Loeffler in the special election for the Senate seat vacated by the retirement of Johnny, Ellison, there we go, at the beginning of 2020. Watch this. Quote, you cannot prosecute cases until the investigation is over. You don't do it for politics. Your job is to find justice for everyone, not race, not class, not anything else, Collins. Somebody talk black to me. Somebody talk black to me real quick while I show you this picture. I'm going to need somebody black to talk black to me while I show you this picture. I know, Doug Collins. I know, Doug Collins. It's not a normal thing. Lord have mercy today. I know you're not used to seeing these kinds of images that rule and make decisions. That's helping to bring you to account. Lord have mercy. But I want y'all to listen to something right here. I want you to listen to Doug Collins' press conference he held. Oh yeah, he was doing it up. The white supremacist apparatus is fully activated. They came out, family. White supremacists did. With the mighty show of force, not just local government, not just state government, but baby, they got the federal government weighing in now. Members of the federal government weighing in now, baby. But oh, watch this. We're going to talk about power in a minute.
I'm on my way to pick up my sister.
Here we go. Not that, baby. I'm getting the cue right now. It's getting past this. I want y'all to watch this. 1,400 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vikki Show. Keep giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. It's queuing right now. Here we go, family. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? On the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, hit that thumbs up button as I get ready to play this for you. Hit that thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Watch this.
Back in the Atlanta Police Union and calling for a special prosecutor in the Rayshard Brooks case. 11 Live's Shanu Hur explains why the district attorney may not be replaced.
My God.
On Sunday, some state leaders stood behind the Atlanta Police Union, publicly showing their support for officers. Some officers emotional as they spoke about morale and fallout with some communities following the death of Rayshard Brooks and 2 of their colleagues charged.
We do the job to protect. We expect to be protected by our leaders, and they've all failed us. All of them. So I appreciate you all being here.
Fulton County DA Paul Howard charged former officer Garrett Rolfe with murder and Devin Brosnan with aggravated assault. Congressman Doug Collins slammed Howard's decision to charge them before the GBI completed its investigation, calling the move political. Howard is running for a 7th term, and Collins is making a run for a U.S. Senate seat.
You cannot prosecute cases until the investigation is over. You don't do it for politics. Your job is to find justice for everyone, not race, not class, not anything else.
Doug? Y'all, come on, somebody talk black to me. Doug, it's a new day, baby. It's a new world on the horizon, and the black man and the black woman are taking their role, and we're going to rule based on freedom, justice, and equality. And this situation is giving them just a glimpse. God, today, it's giving them just a glimpse, family, in a world to come. This black man is standing doing what he ought to do. And it is activating all of the white supremacist apparatus. But I want you to take a very close look again at this press conference. I want you to see who's crying right now. How often do you see your open enemy, who is a member of the police force, all of them standing there, God, today, and he's weeping and crying? Did y'all see him crying? Is it because, God, is it because they're concerned about black rule, family? Is it because that the devil knows that his time is short? Isn't it written in the book of Revelation that they come to make a trouble on the earth because they know that the time is short? They sense the end is near. It's not because black folks are going to mistreat you, baby. Black people are some of the most empathetic and sympathetic and loving people on the planet. Since when have black folks wholesale murdered you, family? We've never done that. When you killed us, we say we forgive you. Before we've even buried our dead, we put our arms around you and say we love you. We run to you, Botham Jean's brother, Brant Jean, and we say to the killer of his brother, I don't even want you to do jail time. Is that what we do, family? Is that what the Charleston Nine, our black brothers and sisters who were slaughtered, the 9 brothers and sisters at Mother Emanuel's church, didn't the family members show up to Dylan Roof's bond hearing, and didn't every single one of them say, I forgive you, and that we enjoyed you in our service? What are you worried about? What are you so concerned about? Lord have mercy. Oh, baby, they're worried right now, family. They're worried that we're going to do justice. Let me tell you something. If you're not guilty of nothing, if you haven't done anything wrong, what in the world are you worried about? Could it be that you are concerned that we've been doing sneaky, devilish stuff like you? Could it be that you are concerned that we are like you, beloved? Oh, it's a new day, beloved. It's a new season. It's a new day. The black gods are rising, and we're going to rule with justice. We're going to rule with righteousness. And of this kingdom, there shall be no end. I say to you, we are unstoppable. Our unity, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, is stronger and mightier than an atomic bomb. Family, I want to let you know today, let me calm myself down. I want to let you know today that this is just a glimpse into our world rule, baby. And I want to tell you today that because our black brother stood and charged these killers like he should have, I gave today to his campaign. other Black influencers gave into his re-election campaign. Vicky, why did you do that? Vicky, why did you do that? Because when you're at war, I said, when you're at war, you need a fat war chest. God, today. Did you all hear what I said? When you're at war, you need a fat war chest. When someone stands up at a time where we need them to stand up and to do what's right, that's who we get behind and support. This is not about supporting this whole man's legacy and every job he's ever had in every case, but this is a special moment. And when we see someone rise to the occasion, we back the people that rise to the occasion. Yes, we're going to be watching our brother. Yes, we're going to be holding this DA accountable. But we're also going to support him when he does right. Some of you are worried. What if he disappoints us? Someone said something to me earlier on Instagram. They said, I don't know if they was telling me about, they don't know if he's the right one for this. And what about his past? And he's trying to cover up for this, that, and the third. He should have let somebody else do it. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to play this video again for you. Let me tell you something. 1,600 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicky Show. Let me greet you all. My name is Vikkiillard, and I'm a proud contributor here, right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. As you come in, please come on in, giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. I'm getting ready to play this press conference of this white congressman by the name of Doug Collins, who's trying to interfere with our Black brother properly prosecuting these race soldiers. Watch this. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. Make sure that every single one of you hit that subscribe button and hit receive all notifications. Again, I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Listen, I'm going to play the video again. But for those of you that are saying he's being political, for those of you that are worrying about what about his past and all of this, let me tell you something. Somebody just said, roar, Vicky, roar. I will, beloved Mickey. Listen. We're making demands for reparations, aren't we? We're making demands for reparations for any party that would get our vote, because we're not going to vote unless you cut the check. Is that right? Who are we making those demands to, Black family? Shout out to you, Carver, for your gift. Who are we making the demands to cut the check to? Are we making those demands to people who have been good to us? Are we making those demands to people that aren't freaks and drug heads and responsible for the mass incarceration of Black people and Black murder? Aren't we making those requests to white supremacists? God, today. Who are we appealing to in our demand for politics on a national level? Who are we making these demands to? Pharaoh. Pharaoh's not perfect, is he? Pharaoh has been a hell of a master in our lives, has he not? But yet, we put suspicion around our brother. Watch this. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I'm saying that he's rising to the occasion now. And if he's doing it because it's political and he knows that the people want him to do it, well, doggone it, isn't he supposed to do what we tell him to do? How dare some of you? It is wise that we keep our eye on him. It is wise that we keep them accountable. But it is equally wise that when they do what's right, we support them. We're in a world, family, where our open enemy has ripped our morality away, our families away, our morals away, our high rules away. He's murdered and raped and sodomized and defrauded us. None of us comes out unscathed. None of us is perfect. While we're in this world of white supremacy, trying to make an exodus, trying to go through this wilderness and fight for our promised land. I will back my brother any day of the week, because whatever he may or may not have done as righteously as he was supposed to in the past, if any of that is even truly true, it pales in comparison to our open enemy who created this demonic environment that we found ourselves in for centuries. We will not throw our brother away. We will hold him accountable, yes. We will hold him accountable, yes. But at the same time, we will support him when he does what he is supposed to do. 1,700 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicky Show. We're so pleased that you are with us today. As you come in, please come in giving us a thumbs up. Be sure to like and share. May I share something with you? I personally talked today to Mr. Paul Howard, and it was an honor. I donated to his re-election campaign. He was very integral. He was very affable and grateful and to the point. I got his permission to let you know that I was able to speak with District Attorney of Atlanta today. And he told me to tell you, are y'all ready for the word? That our brother told me to tell you somebody talk black to me. Our dear brother here, he said to let you know change is coming. Woo! I'm going to hit the gavel on that. He told me to let you know that change is coming. He didn't realize that I had been saying for the longest that there is a changing of the guards and a changing of the gods. He said a change is coming, and to thank you so much for your support. I wanted him to know that there is a people that has his back. God, today. He, unlike so many other your other black leaders, he respected a little old Vicky without even really knowing who he was talking to at first. Somebody talk black to me. After he realized who I was, because he didn't originally know, he respected and honored black media, the new black grassroots media. Black family, how many times have I told you that in this season, power is coming from the ground up? Y'all better talk black to me. How many of you all know that I've been telling you for a long time now? For those who don't know, in this season, I said in this season, power is coming from the ground up. It's written, family. I said it's written. It's written. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 says, brothers and sisters, you all do know that the scripture, that the root word from the word scripture is script. How many of you all know that we are living according to the script of scripture. And I'm not talking about that demonic, satanic interpretation of the Bible that you have. I do understand that our open enemy has tampered with parts of the scriptures, but the gems that were in there, even those parts of scripture that may have been borrowed from even more ancient black practices, it still spells good news for you, black man and black woman. It's still divine secrets that our ancestors and that the prophets and that righteous men and women left for us to know that there was a time coming that they themselves wished and longed that they could be in. I told you that, yes, we're experiencing a lot of labor pains today. I told you, yes, it's a lot of trouble for black people, but I told you it's labor pains, right? I told you that just like when a woman gets ready to have a child, there's pain, there's bloodshed. Is that right, family? But there is a baby on the way. She's getting ready to birth something. This is good news for us. It's not good news for people like Doug Collins and the police affiliations and associations that he's representing that have murdered black people. They're not happy about it. They're so unhappy that you got the police crying. Why are they crying? Because our brother brought charges to our killers. Who would get upset because somebody is charging someone with the unnecessary high-tech lynching of our brother that was recorded? Who would be upset? What white man, what red man, what brown man, what yellow man would be upset? Could it be the man of sin? What man, Vicky, stop screaming, would be upset with the idea that someone is bringing charges against individuals who committed a high-tech lynching that was recorded, that broke the law to the tune of at least 8 charges for the one and 2 for the other? Who would get upset about that? Could it be 2 Thessalonians chapter 2? Could it be the man of sin that our ancestors told us would have to be revealed in that day? It says that the man of sin is being revealed. It didn't say that. That's the only one. It has to be that mankind or that kind of a man. Those individuals that's been masquerading as a man, but that's been acting and behaving as beasts and savages, that have been behaving as the wild beast of the field. You're telling on yourself, Doug Collins. Woo! You're telling on yourself. I said you're telling on yourself. 1,800 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicky Show. As you come in, we thank you for giving us a thumbs up, liking, sharing. Most of you are watching me live now on flynubianqueentv.com. Others of you will be watching me later on several of our other platforms. If you're watching me on one of our other platforms, please make sure that you like, that you share, and that you comment. Beloved, it is up to us to elevate the voice of Black media. It is not enough to be able to say who's on MSNBC, who's on CNN and Fox News and ABC, CBS, and all these other white mainstream networks. It's up to you to say, well, do you know do you know about the Vicky Show on flynubianqueentv.com? Fly Nubian Queen TV. Yeah, Fly Nubian Queen. I ain't never heard of that. What? You look at them like you crazy. Power in this season is coming from the ground up. It's coming from nobodies like a Vikkiillard. Because it's written in 1 Corinthians. It says, brothers and sisters, think of what you were when you were called. Not many of you were wise by human standards. Not many were influential. I'm talking to you. The scriptures are talking to you. The script is talking about you. Not many were of noble birth, but God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose, the weak things of the world to shame the strong. God chose the lowly things of this world and the things and the despised things and the things that are not to nullify the things that are. I want our brother that's sitting in a high place doing what's right. The question, you don't get to deflect and say, oh, he's doing this because of race, even though I could probably make a case for that. Why, Vicky? Because we're the ones that's disproportionately murdered. See, you white police officers don't need new training. You know how to apprehend a Dylan Roof, who you know when you're looking for Dylan Roof, you knew he fled. A serial killer at the time you were looking for him. You knew how to apprehend him without a hitch, and you took him to Burger King. I've seen a white killer run around butt naked, assaulting white officers, and you all managed to apprehend him and so many other buck wild white folk who violated the law and murdered and raped other people. So it's not that you need new training. You are targeting us, baby. So yes, we could also make a case that it is racial, that our brother is doing this situation if we wanted to. But that's not the issue, beloved. He's following the law. And so I stand with our brother. This is not about individual Paul Howard. This is not about the man Paul Howard. This is about the people. This is about the Black collective that he's representing. Don't get it twisted. It's about the people it pertains to. Watch this. I want you to watch this again. I want you to watch this again. Look at this, Black family. I said the whole apparatus of white supremacy has been activated. Keep giving us a thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing as I prepare to. I want you to watch this clip again. I want us to go through this clip one more again. That's my Mississippi coming out. I live in the West now, but I'm a girl from Mississippi, born and raised. Don't get it twisted. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. Shout out to you, Kim, for your gift. Sis, you speaking today. We stand with our brother. Yes, we do. We stand with our brother. And for those that would also like to support him, this is not specifically something that the network has specifically told me to do or what have you. This is Vikkiillard saying it. The link will be in the chat. So this is separate in the side from FlyNubianQueenTV.com. I'm not saying that Fly Nubian Queen TV, the network, has said this, but I would like to let you all know that it's available. His link, the link will be in the chat for you here momentarily to support our brother if you so choose. If you so choose to support him in this. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Now watch this. Watch this, because I just wanted that to be clear. Watch this. Thank you so very much. I'm pulling it back up, family. I want you to listen to this press conference again.
A Georgia congressman is now backing the Atlanta police union and calling for a special prosecutor in the Rayshard Brooks case. 11 Live's Shanu Hur explains why the district attorney may not be replaced.
On Sunday, some state leaders stood behind the Atlanta police union, publicly showing their support for officers. Some officers emotional as they spoke about morale and fallout with some communities following the death of Rayshard Brooks and two of their colleagues charged.
We do the job to protect. We expect to to be protected by our leaders, and they've all.
How many times do you see white police officers who are responsible for and support the murder and lynching of black people break down crying? What is he so emotional about? What is he so emotional about? Is it that he's crying because they can't just kill black folks without punishment? How many times have our people said that some of the black murders that we've been experiencing around this country, how many of you all know what took place in Atlanta the other day when a whole bunch of our people just out of nowhere just got shot up and it looked like a drive-by, and they found out that the police were involved, that law enforcement was involved? How many of you all know about that? How many of you all know about that black ops location in Chicago, that many black folks that were snatched up there were just put into this place like a black ops location where nobody knew where they were? Well, law enforcement was clearly operating under the radar in this secret building without their lawyer or family knowing where they were. How many of you all heard about numerous gang members say that there was no issue, but they were picked up by the police and beat up, and then they turned around and dropped them off on another side of town? How many of you all know that a lot of those murders of our brothers and sisters that have been shot, many of their killers have never been found? How many of you all know that many believe that there was some meddling that was going on from the high places, and many believe that that's the reason why some of their killers have not been found? How many of you all know that some of our black brothers and sisters actually started to follow the police, and they found police setting up entrapments on certain places and recorded them? How many of you all know that just like the other day, even the attorney general out of Minnesota, what's his name? The black Keith Ellison. How many of you all know that Keith Ellison, the black attorney general, where our brother George Floyd, where they brought the charges against George Floyd? How many of you all know that even Keith Ellison came on there and wanted to know who was this white guy that was dressed in black, that was recorded by other black people apparently, and other people that was from the streets? They believe, even though the law enforcement tried to later on deny that it was one of their people, it was not necessarily a full-throated or believable denial. But even the attorney general wanted people to keep bringing that information forward because they wanted to know who these mess makers were. How many of you all know that America's history, hello, somebody say COINTELPRO, hello, somebody say Black Identity Extremists, that's a recent program. How many of you all know that it is America's standard, it is America's MO to make messes and to come in to infiltrate undercover and make it appear that black folks are doing things that they're not doing? And to the degree that some of them actually are, you know they're the ones that created the godless, wicked, and hellish conditions that we're in. How many of you all know that because of lack of finances, how many of you all know that because of lack of opportunity, that is one of the major drivers to crime? How many of you all know that when your open enemy sees there's peace, they come in and they start meddling? They come in to do what the original COINTELPRO said they would do, to disrupt and to destroy. I don't need to go any further than my own story. I told you the half of my story, a tenth of my story, 1/100th of my story hasn't even been told. In my federal criminal case, the discovery, 50 some odd thousand pages of discovery. In my own case, the prosecutor didn't turn over all the quote unquote evidence that they had, and they didn't turn it over, beloved, because they knew that there was some evidence in there that would be favorable to me, which is why we were trying to get the case dismissed early on for selective prosecution. But the documents that we did get, some of the documents were sloppily redacted. They left some internal emails in there between law enforcement, the feds, and bankers, lawyers, where it showed that while your sister was doing her activism, when I was showing up to meetings, when I was showing up in civil cases, exposing malfeasance and law violations from a multitude of high-level entities. Those documents showed that people were sitting there, planted by law enforcement on a number of areas, in a number of places that I was attending. And at the time, I didn't know it. I don't need to go any further than my own story to know. We go to the root of our problems, which is white supremacy. One of the major reasons we talk about separating, one of the major reasons we're talking about getting out. When we say separate, we mean what? Making your own neighborhood safe and decent places to live. When we say get out, we mean start to police your own communities. When we say get out, we're talking about what? Relying on black conflict resolutionist. When we're talking about getting out, we're talking about teaching our own black children. When we're talking about getting out, we're talking about building more black businesses, black clinics, and black industries. Why? Because when we come out from these different areas of white supremacy, we can finally get from under some of that influence. Watch this. And we can be sort of incubated. Why do you incubate a baby, family? I need 2,000 of you to talk black to me and thousands of you later to talk black to me. What's the purpose of incubating a baby? When the child is not fully developed. Somebody talk black to me. Is that right, family? You want to make sure they're in a safe environment so that they can have what they need, so that they can properly develop. How many of you all know that we're often the product of our environment? We were not meant to exist with injustice. As Minister Farrakhan once said, when you're in an environment all the time of injustice, it causes an imbalance in the mind. You weren't created to live like that. Somebody talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Watch this.
They've all failed.
The case out of Brunswick
It's over.
is running for a 7-hour decision to charge them. On Sunday, some state leaders stood behind the Atlanta Police Union, publicly showing their support for officers. Some officers emotional as they spoke about morale and fallout with some communities following the death of Rayshard Brooks and 2 of their colleagues charged.
We do the job to protect. We expect to be protected by our leaders, and they've all failed us. All of them. So I appreciate you all being here.
Fulton County.
He's crying. Because it's time for justice. It's time for justice. He's crying because they can no longer do their devilment. Free reign. Somebody talk black to me. How many times do you see that, black family? This war of the gods. This war for us is about righteousness. Lord have mercy. I want us to stand with our brother as we hold him accountable. Because it's time for justice to reign. Black family, don't you know that you are worthy of ruling? Don't you know that you're the direct descendants of the God? Don't you know that you are the mothers and fathers of civilization and that no people on the planet ever existed without us? Don't you know that you are the inventors of mathematics, of the sciences, philosophy, medicine, mathematics? Don't you know that they ravaged the throne land? Many peoples of the world, they came there and they took artifacts and they renamed them and they took credit for stuff that we did. Some of them took it by force and some of them literally came over into where we dwelled. Even some parts of the world, because the whole planet is ours, and they learned from us. I said they learned from us. Somebody say, this is our planet. I know power seems uncomfortable for some of you, but it is the way you were meant to be. God, today, you've got what it takes. And the people that are now ruling. See, this is why Trump is so racist. Trump is egging on his base through racism because this is what he fears. They see a little glimpse of it. They see a glimpse of it. Watch this. Let me show you this picture. You've seen it before. This is our brother, Paul Howard. Look who he's surrounded by mostly. You can't see it all right now, but look who our brother is mostly surrounded by. That's a different image than what we're used to seeing. See, white folks are scared if they don't have their black butter biscuits and bootlicks in there who they know that they can control. They're scared to death. Because see, the images we're used to seeing is this right here. Watch this. Hold on, give me just a second. It's coming up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. 2,000 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vikki Show, and thousands of you will likely watch this later. And many of you that are watching us on some of our other platforms, where the Vikki Show on FlyNubianQueenTV.com is aired. Please, family, be sure to like, be sure to share. Every single one of you on the count of three. Every single one of you on the count of three. Please hit that thumbs up button on the count of three and make sure that you hit that notification bell as I get ready to pull this up one more time. On the count of three. On the count of three, for those of you that haven't, hit that thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And hit that subscribe button, would you? Don't forget that we have a school. We have a school where you can learn how to start your own side hustle and build your black business, learning from black people at FlyNubianBusiness.com. The link is in the chat. FlyNubianBusiness.com. We also have a store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com that we want to make you aware of, black family. This is so important. These are the things that black folks can do. See, when you start your own black business, when you have those extra few dollars, you can give freely to platforms like this one. You can sign up at flynubianbusiness.com for you and your children and your family and your loved ones. And you can give a few dollars to support folk like our brother, Paul Howard, when he stands for righteousness. Watch this. See, these are the images that we're used to seeing right here. We've grown accustomed to just this image.
Publicly showing their support for officers.
See, this is what we're used to seeing.
Some officers emotional as they spoke about morale and fallout with some communities following the death of Rayshard Brooks and 2 of their colleagues charged.
We do the job to protect. We expect to be protected by.
Look at the image of those who are used to ruling. Look at the people behind them.
Leaders, and they've all failed us. All of them. So I appreciate you all being here.
Fulton County DA Paul Howard charged former officer.
Now look at this. Now look at this image. God, today, I want y'all to pay attention to the optics.
Garrett Rolfe with murder and Devin Brosnan with aggravated assault. Congressman Doug Collins slammed Howard's decision to charge them before the GBI completed its investigation, calling the move political. Howard is running for a 7th term, and Collins is making a run for a U.S. Senate seat.
You cannot prosecute cases until the investigation is over. You don't do it for politics. Your job is to find justice for everyone, not race, not class, not anything else.
Collins is asking attorneys...
Not race, not class, baby. Your race soldiers have been killing us because we're black. Somebody talk black to me. And we know it's a problem with this police force. you know that the police force, they are truly the enforcement arm of white supremacy because it brought a federal congressman out of hiding to jump out in front of the cameras to put his 2 cents in this. They're doing everything they can to keep that system of injustice intact. But baby, it's a new day. See, black family, when you stand for something, what did I tell you? When you do what's right, even when it looks like you're outnumbered, what you do when you do what's right, you set a chain of events in motion, God, today, that's favorable to you. And you will begin to access an army that you can see, and you're accessing an army that you can't see. Only if you do the right thing long enough. It's going to be other difficulty. It's going to be other tricks that's going to come down the road, black family. But if we stand in righteousness, and if we stand unified, our collective intelligence, our collective unity, our collective wisdom, baby, can overcome anything. You don't yet know your power. We're in the fullness of time. We're in our winning season. Other times before, some of our ancestors who came and taught us some things before, they were pregnant with purpose, but they were only about 3 weeks pregnant. Some of them were just in the first trimester, the second trimester. But baby, we're in the third trimester where we're getting ready to push this thing out. The fullness of time has come. And I want to say to every single one of you coons and every single one of you butter biscuits and every single one of you that's scared to death, stand down. If you scared, that's fine. Get out the way and just do no harm. Just keep your mouth shut and stand down. Some of us have decided to say we are well able. The whole white supremacist apparatus has been activated. What else has happened? How many of y'all heard about this? Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. Thumbs up, black family. Keep liking and sharing. Watch this. Guess what else has happened? Well, they're trying to come against these charges and they're acting up. Shout out to you, our super. I can't even read what your other kind words, but thank you so much for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. And even some of you that have privately been given to me, I want to thank some of you all so much. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Those that are given to the network and those that have blessed me personally. Thank you so very much. I always like to acknowledge your kindness, family. Watch this. Watch this. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. As you keep hitting that like, that share button, share this broadcast out, would you? Let's share this broadcast out. Our super conscious mind now contains, yes, we are blessed. Thank you so much. Your open enemy, the police, you saw them crying. Did you see them crying? After one of theirs was charged for a godless and unjust murder, they're crying about that. But that ain't all they're doing, family. Let me show you one of the other recent attacks that they just did. Watch this. Y'all ready for this? I tweeted about this. That's why I tell you to follow me on Twitter, because I'm always breaking news and tweeting stuff on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky, would you? Watch this. Let me pull this up. Some of you heard about this. This is going to trip some of y'all out. Okay, here we go. Guess what happened? Look at this article right here. I'm actually reading from the Washington Post. This article is from the Washington Post. Read. Can you all see this headline from the Washington Post? Every Atlanta police officer gets $500 bonus from foundation to, quote, boost morale as sick outs continue. Shout out to you, Mark. Did y'all hear what I said? Did y'all hear what I said? Oh, I've been tripping over the last few days. When I learned about the sick outs, I was tweeting about that days ago. And then I really lost my mind when I read about Mayor Keisha Bottoms' police are getting $500 bonuses. Listen, in a time where we're saying defund the police, and like I said the other day on my social media thing, I said, okay, how many of y'all know they just claimed that they outlawed this illegal move in New York, right? How many of y'all saw where that New York police officer just choked out another black brother? The brother passed out, and they just suspended that officer after they just passed a policy that he wasn't supposed to engage in that maneuver. Right after they passed that maneuver, he kept doing it, but he was being recorded. So when we said about when black folks and activists are saying defund the police, I said, okay, defund the police. Why don't y'all hire black folk like the Nation of Islam, the FOI, the Fruit of Islam? How many of you all know back in the day they were called the dope busters? How many of you all know that they were already patrolling black neighborhoods in the ghettos and stuff on the weekends? So they said, what if we do this full time? So they were getting contracts from the government from checking on their people without going in there with guns and blowing off our people's head. And they found a measurable difference. Crime was going down. Drugs were going down. Drug dealers was leaving the community. Guess what happened? White supremacist Congressman King was one of the main congressmen that stopped federal grants, federal money going into black businessmen that were doing the business of their people in the hood. So you know they don't care about black neighborhoods being properly policed. See, when you find black folks to patrol their own communities and to do it their way, that means that they don't allow white supremacists to come up in there and to do damage to their people. See, they're not going to let no black bootlicks come up in there and have no black Sambos in there. That's a black-faced white supremacist. So I said, okay, defund the police, fire the police, and then hire black men such as the FOI and other similar black organizations to police their own communities. Somebody talk black to me. Listen to this article. I love you back, Abu. 1,200 plus of you in the chat. Keep liking and sharing, family. Thank you so much. Don't forget, every one of you hit that notification bell. Every one of you hit that subscribe button. Would you? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Listen to what this article says. One day, after a number of Atlanta police officers called in sick, prompting rumors of a mass walkout in protest of murder charges filed against a former officer, a police foundation announced Thursday that it had given every officer in the city a $500 bonus. Did you all hear what I just said? Did you all hear what I just said? The bonuses, which reportedly total more than $2 million, are part of a broader effort to, quote, stem attrition and boost morale, the Atlanta Police Foundation said in a statement to local media outlets. In addition to the money, which was provided through donations, the foundation also plans to replace at least 20 patrol cars that have been damaged during the ongoing protests that have consumed the city, that have consumed the city for weeks, WSB reported. Y'all hear this madness? Moderators, please pay attention to some of these trolls up in here. Somebody talk black to me. Thank you so much. We're afraid of losing, listen to this quote, we're afraid of losing good police officers. Our city losing good police officers, the foundation's president and CEO, Dave Wilkinson, told the news station. All this is in support of just showing that we appreciate the sacrifice these officers have made during this time. Local leaders, including Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and interim police chief Rodney Bryant, have spoken publicly about waning morale among police officers in recent days, in part due to the protests over racism and police brutality that have sparked intense anti-police sentiment in the city and nationwide. Do y'all understand what's happened? After our black brother righteously charge these white supremacists for the murder of our brother. One report at one time talked about a large number of law enforcement called in sick. How many times do police say, oh, it's only a few bad apples? But like my brother Richard Muhammad said on Twitter, and I was tweeting this as well with him, what do you call all of these officers, this mass number of officers that called in? What do you call them? Since you all claim it's only a small number of bad apple officers, what do you call all of those officers that called in? Do you all know that it was so many officers that called in? The interim police chief, Rodney Bryant, I posted this on Instagram and Twitter. That black interim officer, do you all know he did a press conference saying that they were not able to respond to all of the calls that are necessary to respond to because so many police called in? Are those good police? Are all of those good police officers that called in to obstruct justice because one of their own who illegally murdered our black brother, and it was recorded after he shot him, after one of the bullets went through his chest, through his heart, I believe the report showed. He kicked him, and then he said, I got him. This is who they're standing by. I don't call those others good police officers. I said, fire them all. But they're trying to boost morale with these officers. And they gave every single one of them $500 bonuses. After some of our people said defund the police and put it in other areas that are going to do good for black folks. Because how many of you all know the issue with crime in the black community is mostly economics? You cannot mistreat a people and oppress a people and steal from a people. You can't have generations of crackheads, heroin mothers and fathers, chronically broke and impoverished minds for hundreds of years, and then scream at black folk and act like we're the same as our open enemy. The issue, let me look at this book from Dr. Wesley. Maybe I'll quote a thing here from Dr. Wesley. Hold on. Give me a second. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Thumbs up, 2,100 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vikki Show. A few thousand of you here. We're so pleased that you've tuned into the Vikki Show on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. I'm typically here on this amazing network weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're talking about the fact that the war of the gods is still going on. And let me tell you something, black family. If you unify, we will surely win. I said, if you unify, we will surely win. This is just one of the parts I want to talk to you about. Watch this. How many of you all remember Daniel P. Moynihan? He was the Assistant Secretary of Labor in President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration. In 1965, he wrote and distributed a strictly in-house, non-public report to the president and his deputies entitled The Negro Family, the Case for National Action. I'm talking to intelligent black people. I'm trying to let you know where crime comes from. By the way, I'm drinking out of this snazzy mug, my water from this mug from Fly Nubian Queen. You can get yours from our store at shopfnq.com. You can get book bags, t-shirts, and all kinds of goodies and apparel at shopfnq.com. Listen, Daniel P. Moynihan wrote this report. It was supposed to be strictly in-house. He was the Assistant Secretary of Labor under President Lyndon B. Johnson, right? In 1965, it was titled The Negro Family, the Case for National Action. The report was intended to motivate the president and his deputies to launch massive federal employment and anti-poverty initiatives directed at Black Americans. Directed at who, family? Did he say directed at LBGTQ? Did he say directed at other immigration groups? Did he say for white women? He said directed at who? Black Americans. Somebody say cut the check. Listen, this was 1965, straight from the White House. This strictly in-house report fell into the hands of some governmental mischief makers who were not pleased with either the report's conclusions or objective. The leaked small quotes torn from their context to the press and the public. A firestorm ensued. Once the already scandalized report was finally released to the public, many, including American feminists, launched a campaign to discredit it and neutralize the report's perceptive, candid observations and thwart its recommendations. Watch this, y'all. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, whose book I'm reading from right now, page 22, it says, having read the so-called Moynihan report for myself, I am very clear on why white American conservatives and radical American feminists were both so bent on misrepresenting and neutralizing it. And I am clear on its relevance to us today in 2016. That's the time that he was writing this book. But listen to what a part of this report says from the Moynihan report. Quote, the racist virus of America still afflicts us. This is 1965, y'all. This is a report to the President of the United States from his Assistant Secretary of Labor. 3 centuries of sometimes unimaginable mistreatment have taken their toll on the Negro people. The harsh fact is that as a group at the present time, in terms of ability to win out in the competitions of American life, they are not equal to most of those groups with which they are competing. God! I said this is straight from the White House. Individually, Negro Americans reach the highest peaks of achievements. It says individually, right? But collectively, somebody put the word collective in the chat. Somebody write the word collective. Thank you, beautiful sun goddess, for your gift. She said, talk black to me, Vicky. That's right, queen. Listen, it says, but collectively, in the spectrum of American ethnic and religious and regional groups, where some get plenty and some get none, Negroes are among the weakest collectively. It is more difficult for whites to perceive the effect that 3 centuries of exploitation have had on the fabric of Negro society itself. Here, the consequences of the historic injustices done to Negro Americans are silent and hidden from view. These are reports from who? The Assistant Secretary of Labor in President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration. Let's talk about facts. Listen. But here is where the true injury has occurred. Unless this damage is repaired, all of the effort to end discrimination and poverty and injustice will come to little. Of the greatest importance, the Negro male became an object of intense hostility, an attitude unquestionably based in some measure on fear. Keeping the Negro, quote, in his place can be translated as keeping the Negro male in his place. The female was not a threat to anyone. The very essence of the male animal, from the Bantam rooster to the 4-star general, is to strut. Indeed, in 19th century America, a particular type of exaggerated male boastfulness became almost a national style. Not for the Negro male, The sassy nigger. This is in the 1965 report. I'm quoting. Shout out to you, Nas Alim, for your $100 gift. He says, peace, Black Goddess. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Peace to you, beloved. Listen. He says the sassy nigger was lynched. The Negro community has been forced into a matriarchal structure which seriously retards the progress of the group as a whole and imposes a crushing burden on the Negro male and, in consequence, on a great many Negro women as well. That's a direct quote, family. He goes on to talk about the attacks on the Black family structure. It was acknowledged from the government that the systems of white supremacy over hundreds of years, even at that time, he said 300 years, that was in 65, took its toll on us. Watch this. I'm almost done. This is a place for intelligent Black people. Give me a minute more. It talks about the Black male labor force. Participation and employment have declined since World War II, and employment position of Black women remain relatively stable. Watch this. The result is a total realization of Moynihan's prediction. This is page 25. Entrenched multi-generational poverty is largely Black, is intricately intertwined with the collapse of the nuclear family. It goes on to talk about the number of American children that are born into single-parent homes and all of these different kinds of things. But it also lets us know the interconnection to poverty, y'all, and also crime. Because of the disposition that this country, the disposition of Black folk today and the family structure has everything to do with what America did to it, including crime. So economics is a large part of the problem to solve it. Economics gives us the wherewithal to go for self and to do and to build the Black nation without white interference. Somebody talk Black to me. That was a side note. I want you to get your mind on ruling. I read to you a bit. Keep giving us a thumbs up, liking and sharing. From this article that they were so mad about these charges. Some reports said almost about a third of police called in. It was large enough that over the weekend, the interim chief said they couldn't respond to all of the needs of the people. They said they're backed up because so many police officers called in. Do you see how angry they are? I just told you Doug Collins, this white U.S. congressman, who doesn't even have jurisdiction there, putting his 2 cents in and giving a press conference to stand with the police against this Black DA. But may I say to you, somebody talk Black to me. May I say to you that this image right here of white men ruling and dominating every area while we're at the bottom, it's written that we will no longer be the tail, but we will be the head. It's written that we will no longer be beneath, but what? Above. See, this is what we're used to seeing. These are the people we're used to seeing rule. We're not used to this next image that's coming up. This is what we're used to seeing. Give me a second. This crybaby. Thumbs up, family.
All of them.
I can't get over this crying.
I appreciate y'all. I'll be in here.
Fulton County DA Paul Howard
They're not used to this.
former Officer Garrett Rolfe with murder, and Devin Brosnan.
Let me tell y'all something. They're literally crying because they're losing power. Donald Trump does a lot of racist stuff for his base. The reason why, even though Brett Kavanaugh had all of these credible charges against him that were not properly investigated by the FBI, I'm not talking about just the sexual charges against him. Brett Kavanaugh was supposed to be a regular federal judge. But years ago, even Other Republicans refused to approve him to be a federal judge because he had lied under oath. His hands were dirty under the Bush administration. They found that he lied under oath when America was getting in a lot of trouble because of her torture policies. He was involved in the legalities of that. Brett Kavanaugh was. The reason America shut their eyes to him sitting in the highest court of the land was because America is setting up all these white folks to sit in the high places to rule over the masses because they are concerned about America becoming blacker and blacker and blacker and blacker and blacker. The statisticians, the demographers, the experts are showing that white folks' numbers, their death rates are increasing and their death rates are increasing, their birth rates are decreasing. They see their rules slipping away. But the question is, why should they be concerned? If they're doing what's just and right, why are they so worried about black folk finally getting to rule? Why are they concerned if these officers didn't do anything, they're going to get their day in court? They're supposed to, once this goes through a grand jury and all of that, what are they worried about? They know well themselves. They know very well their mistreatment. They know of the other untold Ahmaud Arbery's, the untold stories of Breonna Taylor that we don't know nothing about, that they themselves have been involved in. When you saw all of these white men standing there together, literally crying, they call themselves standing there as a show of force. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is another show of force. Black justice, righteous rule. But guess what else is another show of force? When we stand by black folks that do what they should do, you all who raise your voice as members of the black media, as member of the grassroots black media, those of us that they consider to be nobodies, we're unifying our voice. We're staying on code with each other, and we're making an impact. We're going to do what we can to fatten the war chest of black folks who are doing what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. Black family, it's a new day. And I don't want you all to be fearful. I want to encourage you with this. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at VikkiXDillard. Follow me on Instagram at VikkiXDillard. Would you? Thank you so much. I got to thinking about the story of the 300. How many of you all have heard about this man called Gideon? There's a story about a warrior, a general named Gideon. Gideon was considered to be the least in his house. Gideon was considered to be the weakest in his family. But he was called by God to deliver his people. Gideon was not considered to be the perfect vessel. Catch my drift, family. Gideon was not the perfect person in the eyes of the world to deliver the people, but it was nevertheless who God chose to use for the moment. Gideon started with a whole lot of men at first, but God told Gideon, that's too many for me to deliver. What kind of math is God doing? If God is saying you got too many people for me to deliver you, get rid of some of them. The first group of people that they got rid of in Gideon's army, he said, for those of you that are scared, you may leave now. Somebody talk black to me. See, you scared to death, Negroes. You may leave now. He whittled them on down through a bunch of other tests till it was only 300. Somebody say 300. It was an agile group. Somebody say 300 Sparta. That's right. But the real one is always based on the story of black folks. When you think about Superman, when you think about any of those heroes, that's always based on somebody black in real life. See, we do this thing so good. Y'all talk black to me. Baby, they call us a superhero because it's for real, for real. We are more than what meets the eye. Listen. So Gideon army was whittled down all the way to what? 300. And if I remember the story correctly, he was up against, I believe, what was it, 30-something thousand? He was outnumbered, I think, 4-1, I believe, if I remember correctly, the story. Greatly outnumbered, only 300. Gideon was freaked out at every turn, and he had to be encouraged over and over by God to be strong. God kept telling him, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Are y'all hearing me? I'm saying to you, family, it's not about us being outmanned. It's about us being outorganized. When we unify and when we start to activate those weapons that we do have, we are unstoppable. I told you this before, and I'm going to tell you again. When America unjustly unleashed the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was one weapon that did great damage to the masses of a lot of people without using a whole lot of troops. I'm using that as an example to let you know what black man, what black woman do you have in your hands that would be of great success and progress to the black nation. I'm not talking about just natural weapons. What can you do that might be one thing, but that will affect the masses? After me going through my legal ordeal, after me right now, I'm medically disabled. But one day I saw an email that this network was looking for new fly Nubian queens. And I sent them a link to some of my little radio shows that I was voluntarily doing here weekly in Colorado. I was using my little Facebook page and only a small handful of people was watching on my Facebook page. But you would never know it. I was talking as if 20,000 people was watching me live, and millions later, I studied, I researched every show, no matter who was tuning in. And now, I'm just one of several queens here that's building up this network and that has the privilege to have my show aired on several other networks. And I'm also a contributor on another large black network as well, weekly. And my show is aired on several others. From a laptop and a phone. Somebody talk black to me. Never despise small beginnings, black family. I said, never despise small beginnings. Do the right thing for the right reason and do the right thing long enough. I said, do the right thing for the right reason. I'm talking and preaching and hollering like this, whether 200 watching me live or 2,000. And the idea that the weekly folks that I potentially have the power to reach is about 1 million a week is beyond my wildest dreams. Do the right thing for the right reason, and then do the right thing long enough. Somebody talk black to me. Now, one last thing I want to say. Don't go nowhere yet. Just in case you have your concerns about our brother, the DA, I want you to listen to something that I found. How many of you all know that so many of our people are compromised in different positions, and we have every right to be suspicious, right? But none of us are perfect. That's why I said we're going to hold him accountable, right? But when he does what he should do, we want to support him. This is another article. One more thing that I want to share with you before I say this next thing. How many of you all know this was actually one of the, thank you for this reminder. My people are keeping me on point. Another one of the things that white supremacists are doing in retaliation to white officers being held accountable for killing black people. How many of you all know, this is a New York Times piece that I'm reading from now. 8 correctional officers said people of color who work in the jail were initially moved away from Derek Chauvin, the officer accused of killing George Floyd. The jail only allowed white staff to guard ex-officer charged with killing George Floyd. This is from the New York Times. Y'all remember that? Did you all hear about that recently? St. Paul, Minnesota. Staff members working at the jail that held Derek Chauvin, the white officer charged with the murder in the killing of George Floyd. The white officer charged with the murder of our brother George Floyd said that only white employees were allowed to guard him. And when he was first brought to the facility last month, watch this, y'all. 8 officers had filed complaints with the Minnesota Department of Human Rights, saying that the superintendent of the Ramsey County Jail in St. Paul kept them from bringing Mr. Chauvin to his cell or even being on the same floor as him last month, solely because of their race. Watch this, y'all. The officers, half of whom are black and all of whom are people of color, said the orders from the superintendent, Steve Leiden, who is white, amounted to segregation and indicated that he thought they could not be trusted to do their jobs because they were not white. Watch this, y'all. After initially denying that officers' contact with Mr. Chauvin had been determined by race, a spokesman for the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office acknowledged the move this weekend and said Mr. Leiden had been temporarily removed from the superintendent's role as the sheriff investigates the officer's claims. What am I trying to tell you? White America, in the DA, the examiner's office, even some of the defense attorneys, in the prisons, in the jails, in Congress, they are scared about black rule. They're scared about black retaliation. And my question is, what do you have to be afraid of if you're doing what's right behind us? And let me add one more thing. The article is in the chat. The article is in the chat. Thumbs up, 2,200 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vikki Show. I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, normally, family. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. My name is Vikkiillard. Follow me on Instagram at VikkiXDillard. And feel free to check out my website at MissVikkiTV.com. The link is in the chat. That's Miss Vikki, V-I-C-K-I, MissVikkiTV.com. All of my contact information and stuff is there as well. Listen. They are putting their white supremacists in place because they're concerned about a backlash. They have instigated this race war, not black folk. They are literally lynching us. How many shows have I done where I've talked about lynchings? And not just this time. I talked about one even about a year or so ago about this black female activist whose son was lynched in her backyard. Now we're seeing several other stories of black men being lynched under suspicious, or literally lynched, bodies literally hanging from trees. That's suspicious. Somebody talk black to me. What's all this going on? Fear of a black rule. We're going to rule based on freedom, justice, and equality. But black family, a part of justice is proper punishment too. Did you hear what I said? I said justice is also proper punishment. Let me say this to you as I get ready. Don't go nowhere yet. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Don't forget, make sure everybody is subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button. Watch this. I want you to listen to something. How many of you all remember this black congressman, Mayor Marion Barry, Barry? How many of you all remember him? I was listening to somebody that was concerned about our prosecutor in this case. Some folks were concerned. Well, he hadn't been the best prosecutor, Vicky. He's just been a politician or what have you. That's why we're going to watch him. That's why we're going to keep him accountable. But we're also going to support our brother when he does what's right. But none of us is perfect. Y'all remember Marion Barry, right? How many of you all know that when he got caught up in this whole drug scandal and that whole prostitution thing or whatever, white folks couldn't stand him, but he was still loved by black folk? Why was he loved by black folks, family? Somebody answer that question for me. Why was Marion Barry? Even though he was set up with a lot of stuff. That's why, brothers, even though you got to be careful so that you don't fall. See, you got to be a man and woman of integrity so that you don't get caught up in the tricks of the devil, right? But nevertheless, why did black folks love him so much? I'm told he made more black business folk and more black millionaires than perhaps any other politician like him. And some of our own people was jumping on him talking about, oh, he got caught up in this. Let me tell you something. I heard a quote from Minister Farrakhan the other day, and I thought this perfectly summed up how we ought to see those. All of us in some way or another are involved in white supremacist systems. Until we rule and dominate, family, that's how it is for now, which is why we keep telling you what? Build black businesses now. Invest now to build black schools. We got to start building it brick by brick. But when we get somebody black to do something inside of white supremacist systems, I'll be doggone if I let a white racist take down our black brothers and sisters who in there doing something for us. I'm not saying this man wasn't perfect by no means. He made a whole bunch of screwed up mistakes, but he was in there doing some stuff for black folks. He was canning us the bag in a lot of areas. Marion Barry, somebody talk black to me. But Minister Farrakhan a few years ago talked at his memorial for Marion Barry, and they was trying to ask him a question about Marion Barry being caught up. Listen to what he said.
One of the Washington newspapers came to, for she asked people and to work for humanity.
This is the best volume I can get. Can y'all hear it, family?
Was Marion Barry.
Can y'all hear?
I was here in Washington when my brother went through his great trial. And a reporter from one of the Washington newspapers came to me with a question. But before she asked her question, she was building me up as some moral giant, somebody who was married and had a good life and didn't use drugs. And what do you think, she said, of a man who broke his marital vows and used drugs and did? I said, who are you talking about? John Fitzgerald Kennedy? Now, that ended the press conference. It is not right or moral to speak of the dead in an unkind way. I only raised that for those who like to talk about our deficiencies while they hide the wickedness of their own leaders that have been over us and over the world. Nobody passes this life without committing sin. And when I said nobody, I mean nobody. The popes, the cardinals, the bishops, the imams, the mullahs, the presidents, the potentates, nobody comes this way without committing sin.
Now, brothers and sisters, we're going to stand with our brother when he's right. We're going to hold him accountable. But Black family, we're in a world right now where Donald Trump, who's a credibly alleged rapist and racist, screwed all kind of people out of their money. A liar. And too many more sins to count. Your congressmen have committed all kinds of violations and broke all kind of laws. They're involved in all kind of sexual deviancy, and they want to point out the one or two things with our own people, even though they created the environments. Baby, as for Vicky, as long as Paul Howard is standing for what's right, I'm standing with Paul Howard. It's not about the individual. It's about the Black collective. I'm going to say it again. This is not about the man, Paul Howard. It's about the people that he's representing. Let's be the wind beneath his wings, not just on this. Let's use this as an opportunity for us to shift and to move forward. It's a new day. There's a changing of the gods and the goddesses, and we win, Black family. As long as we unify and we build at the same time for ourselves. I love you to pieces, Black family. I came to you in peace. I leave you in peace. Don't forget, sign up for our school at flynubianbusiness.com if you want to learn how to build a Black business. If you want to learn about real estate and all those other kinds of things. Also, the Black Business School, the Black Business School. Also, family, we have a store at shopfnq.com. Again, my name is Vikkiillard. I'm typically here weekdays, so don't miss a show. Weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time normally. And also, I want you to make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Why? Because I'm not the only Fly Nubian queen. There are other women that are part of this massive network, and I don't want you to miss their content as well. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at VikkiXDillard, Twitter, Dillard Vicky. Black family, it's an honor. And again, those that are watching us on our other platforms, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us at a different time and on a different day and in a different time zone, to the Black family in America and around the world, thank you. Mwah.